So what I'm doing now is I am stitching the notebook wallet. And while I do that, I have the piece I'm working on clamped here in this stitching pony. Stitching pony is basically, it's a third hand. It keeps the piece I'm working on nice and steady, leaving both my hands free. As you can see, I'm using 2 needles. And when I make the stitch, I make sure that I knot the thread inside of the hole. Let's see, I had to redo that particular knot and it is giving me some trouble. Let's see. There we go. So before I started stitching, what I did was that I marked up the line and then using stitching chisels, looks a little bit like a fork, using that I then just hammered holes along the line I'd marked, and those are the holes I'm now just running the thread through. So I'm leaving this particular notebook wallet untreated, so the leather will be natural. Which means that it will take on a very unique character that will be individual to its owner. If it's carried in a pocket, it will look different than if it's carried in a bag. And if it's left on a desk somewhere, it will look different again. So when the leather is untreated, it will take on oils from its surroundings. So the only embellishment on this one is my maker's mark down here. I mentioned that in another video, which may or may not end up getting published. But my maker's mark is a reindeer. It's based on rock carvings from northern Norway, north of the Arctic Circle. Not too far from where I grew up. Now, stitching ponies. There are many different designs, and it depends a lot on the individual maker. You can of course buy them, but I like to make as many of my tools that I can by myself. It's cheaper for one, but it also allows me to get it exactly the way I want it. And it lets me also make it out of the materials that I want. In principle, there's just two arms that clamp the leather together. Even so, it does allow for quite a bit of individual leeway when you're designing your own. Alright, so this, stitching one of these notebook wallets takes me at present about 30-40 minutes, depending on. I do not yet have a sewing machine, but as soon as I can justify that, meaning that as soon as I have managed to recoup the investments I've made so far, I intend on upgrading my shop with at least one sewing machine. That will cut down the time needed to produce, well, stiff stuff like this by a significant factor. But I'm also enjoying the way I run my shop right now. So I get to refine my basic skills, like saddle stitching. And for every product I sew now, I notice that my stitches flow better. It's faster. First one of these I probably spent about an hour on. So I'm not quite down to half the time yet. I'm getting there. Who knows? If I do end up getting good enough at it, I might just stay to saddle stitching. It does make for a very appealing stitch line, I find. Alright, I am going to wrap up this video now, as the rest of it will be much like this. Repetitive motions and me rambling on. Alright, see you later.